yes or no? I understand in the past, EFF has argued for including language mirroring legislation and trade deals explicitly for the purpose of baking language into an agreement to protect the statute domestically. Do you see the intent of including such 230-like language in trade agreements is to ensure that we may not revisit the statute?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And then what I'd like to do, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask that EFF, the blog post from January 23rd, 2018 by Jeremy Malcolm be entered into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it. Next question is for Mr. Huffman and Ms. Oyama. I wanted to say it right. Is that okay? All right, very good, thank you. In April 2018, I questioned Mark Zuckerberg about how soon illegal opioid ads would be removed from their website. His answer was that the ads would be reviewed when they were flagged by users as being illegal or inappropriate. This, of course, is the standard answer in the social media space. However, Mr. Zuckerberg also said at the time that industry needs to, and I quote, build tools that proactively go out and identify ads for opioids before people even have to flag them for us to review. And that ends the quote. This would significantly, in my opinion, cut down the time an illegal ad would be on their website. Again, Mr. Huffman and Ms. Oyama, it has been a year and a half. This is an epidemic and people are dying. I'm sure you agree with this. Has the industry been actively working on artificial intelligence flagging standards that can automatically identify illegal ads? And then what is the status of this technology? And when can we expect implementation if they have been working on it? Whoever would like to go first is fine. Mr. Huffman?
Sure, thank you, Congressman. So Reddit's a little different than our peers in that all of our ads go through a strict human review process, making sure that not only are they on the right side of our content policy, which prohibits the buying and selling of controlled substances, but also our much more strict ads policy, which has a much higher bar to cross because we do not want ads that cause any sort of controversy on our platform.
Okay, but I mean, you know, we have to be proactive as far as this is concerned, and Mr. Zuckerberg indicated that that's the case. You know, these kids are dying, people are dying, and we just can't stand by and have this happen, and have access to these, well, in most cases, opioids and drugs, different types of drugs. But Ms. Oyama, would you like to comment, please?
Thank you. We certainly agree with your comment about the need for proactive efforts. So on Google Ads, we have something called a risk engine that helps us identify if an ad is bad when it's coming into the system. We can kick it out. Last year in 2018, we kicked out 2.3 billion ads out of our system for violating our policies. For any prescription that would show up in an ad, that's also independently verified by an independent group called Legit Script. So that would need to also be verified by them. And then, of course, in the specific case of opioids, those are a controlled substance under federal law. So there's a lot of important work that we've done with the DEA, with the FDA, even with pharmacies like CVS offline to help them promote things like Take Back Your Drugs Day, where people can take opioids in and drop them off so they're not misused later on. One of the things that we've seen is that the vast majority, more than 99% of opioid misuse happens in the offline world, so from a doctor that's prescribing it or a family member or a friend. And so using technology to also educate and inform people that might be potentially victimized from this is equally important to some of the work that we're doing in the ad space.
Okay, how about anyone else on the panel? Would they like to comment? Is the industry doing enough?
I don't think the industry is doing enough. There's an enormous amount of drug sales taking place on Google Groups, on Instagram, on Facebook groups. The groups on these platforms are the epicenter, and this is why industry has to be monitoring this. If you leave this up to users to flag it, and they're inside a private or secret group, it's just not going to happen. These firms know what users are getting up to. They're monitoring all of us all the time, so they can sell us stuff. They can figure this out.
Congressman, can I also add that there are two issues here. There are the ads, but there's also the native content. So you heard Ms. Peters say that she went this morning and searched on Reddit, and that content is there even if it's not in the ads. And the same is true on Google search. I can search for this. So there's two places you have to worry about these things, not just the ads.
Yeah, very good. All right, thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.